Hey, Bobby, hit us up.
Anyway, basically, I'd like to know, like, how do y'all feel about any minority race besides Caucasian, or if Caucasian is the
Caucasians,
minority?
that's not a minority race.
It's not.
Going off of
Here it is.
you have to look at the demographic in the population. Technically, whites could be minorities in certain places. I don't mean necessarily in America, but in certain places, whites can be minority.
Okay, so go back to your question.
But the question is, can any sort of race or minority be racist?
This. I'm saying,
can any?
I mean, anybody could be racist, but also some people look at that shit way too sensitive nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like a minority can be racist, but at the same time they can't. You know, like for instance, like Hispanics, they can use the N-word usually, and nobody says shit.
They're invited to the cookout, bro.
They got some bomb ass tequila, bro.
But my question is, do you feel like all right, let's just take black and white people. Do you feel like black people are like we're allowed to call white people, you know, crackers and gray boys and all these other kind of racial slangs, and we're not being racist? But if they were to call us niggers, they would be racist only because they're further along.
Okay, see, that's where the debate comes in, because if you look, it depends on how you say it. You know, like if a white man came up to you, like for instance, if I walked up to you and was like, "What's up, nigga?" Like just casual.
Whoa. I'm playing. Go ahead.
Exactly. No, but I'm saying, like, we all cool. Like, I know, for instance, with Cameron, I did that before. Like, I could just do that.
Your motherfucking that. Nah, I'm playing.
Shut up. But now, like, if I went up to a stranger, then yeah, that would be. But like I said, it also depends on where you're from. I mean, you gotta think. It also depends on what you grow up with. Like, if you a white guy in the ghetto and you grow up around that environment, you most likely gonna say stuff like that, and then people look at that and they're like, "Oh, that's racist." No, it's not. He grew up like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I grew up like this. You know, I agree. Like, how this is basically how I feel. Like, you know, I still believe that racism is out there. You know, it still exists, and you know, it really does still exist. But at the same time, in the youth, and I look at this strictly in the youth, it's starting to deplete, you know? Everybody is calling everybody nigga now, you know? Like, nigga, it depends on who your parents are, but, you know, nigga now has really become friend. I mean, we can thank the movie Training Day for that, but, you know... I'm gonna
interject.
Wait, what?
But I know racism...
Wait, what was that? What was the thing about Training Day? Wait a minute.
We can thank the movie... Yeah, we can thank the movie Training Day for nigga turning into a friend thing. You know, my nigga came from Training Day.
I mean, I guess, but I'm pretty sure it was already around before then.
Oh, no, I was just making
Denzel is Denzel.
And it's Denzel.
That's true.
Yeah, you can't
that makes sense.
You know.
I mean, and
all the
Denzel,
white people saw that movie because
King
of
Kong
Denzel.
didn't have shit on him.
What the fuck?
This shit chess, it ain't checkers. I love that line, man. Alright, another thing is,
checkers, nigga.
Like, let's be honest. It is so hard to be racist against white people with, like, cracker and stuff. When people use that, example, I'm just like, how's that racist?
Delicious salty snack.
I just don't get it.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you like to put some cheese
I
on
like crackers. Crackers fucking delicious. Put some salt in that shit.
Actually, can we segue right quick? Can we talk about Ritz crackers? Like,
man, Ritz are like, God,
I like how y'all didn't really give anything to the topic.
It's more racism within the communities than it is like
I second that motion.
Outside, like there, you know, like black people or Latino people, you know, I see a lot of, oh, you sound white just because you speak English, or you like rock music, or You know, you do these kind of things. You hang out with these kind of people. You're not black. You're white. You're all firm and proper. You don't know this. Or if you're Latino and I mean, they get away with it if they're with black people, but when they start doing rock music or going to Savannah Arts like we did, all that kind of stuff, they're like, oh, you're not Latino. You don't know where your roots are from, and that's another big thing where pretty much a heap of the racism is coming from because we're being segregated in our own race. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of times, like, it's not even like kids nowadays. Of course, they rarely have their own ideas and thoughts. So it's just like a lot of times when they say most of the stuff, it's not even really. I don't even feel like they notice like the actual damage or like the actual meaning of what they're saying. It's just like it's just words to them. Basically, it's not. They don't carry like
they just know it's offensive. They don't know why,
and they're not. They might not even mean to be offensive. They might just be saying it, like how Bobby just said. Oh, you speak proper. Oh, you talking white. You doing this. You doing that.
Oh,
they just they can honestly mean you just speaking proper. But I mean, the true meaning of that is that's an actual problem.
And that's you got to thank their parents for that kind of stuff. Like, a lot of the stuff that we do or what we did when we were younger, we learned it from visualizing older people do it.
Well, that's also just the community in general.
A lot of stuff.
Society in general is going downhill.
Like media, all that. I wouldn't blame it like entirely on the parents. But
social media is that's honestly what's wrong with this.
I mean, for me, I would blame it on parents, and I only say that because I'm an example. I grew up in the hood, but my grandparents didn't let me succumb to that kind of behavior. I speak well and proper. I've always been told I speak proper at a super young age. And that's only because I was blessed to have grandparents to keep me away from that.
See, if you said properly, I would say you speak properly. But you said properly. So the hood got you.
You just nitpicking now. You just nitpicking.
Yeah, bro. There's levels to this shit.
I do have one thing to say there. Thumb drive. Anyway, but okay. Mark.
What?
What does that?
The hood got you. That's what it got to do with it. Also, we throw a shot. Anyway, I digress.
I hate all of you right now.
So we still on this topic, or?
I mean, anybody else got something to say?
No.
I mean, all this racism.
I think this was
so dumb to me. It's just so dumb.
Yeah, I would like for everybody. I would like for everybody to just like Morgan Freeman says, everybody just kind of shut up, pick up the pieces, and just live life. Like, don't look at things as a race anymore. Just look at things as an individual. Each person that you see is an individual, and just focus on yourself and live your life, bro. Pick up the pieces, whatever they are, and just live your life.
True.
Okay, that actually, I got a question now. Like, my topic changed, but if y'all want to do yours first,
go for it, bro.
I'm patient.
I was just saying, because this now retains to this. Now I'm kind of curious, right? So since we talk about race and stuff, right? How do y'all feel about white women doing like dreads and stuff that are supposedly
cultural
only allowed for
appropriation?
black people?
Yeah,
that's exactly what me and Cody were talking about just now.
Yep.
Me and Cody were talking about that just now.
Yep.
I don't even care, dude. Like,
it don't make.
Like, I'm to the point to where, like, if you want to do that with your life, do it, bro. Just do. As long as you don't hurt, like, physically hurt anybody else. I mean, you should be able to do whatever you want with your life.
Yeah, the way I see it is, if you're gonna tell somebody how to wear their hair, then you attacking their amendments right then and there. Like, what is someone's hairstyle doing to you in your life? Nothing. Not a damn thing. So
what we do need to do, though, we do need to establish appropriate and acceptable hairstyles. For example, if we take the white race, a lady shows up for her professional job, her hair is straightened, not frizzy, preferably, right? Because if it's straightened, straight, professional, it's all together. If it's frizzy and kind of like, messy hair day, come to an interview or something like that, yes, that's a turn off in terms of like, for the employer. we gotta establish those rules for black people in the eyes of white people, because white people don't really, on average, I wouldn't say they. How do I describe this? Like looking at black people here, they say it all looks the same or whatever. Yeah, our parents, like it all looks the same.
They don't understand, a lot of
and
things.
we don't
There's
either.
differences between-
We don't either
yeah,
because their hair could be greasy and we don't.
Yeah,
We
don't
like,
even know,
like
Yeah,
I've never used a gel product in my life for my
it's
hair.
different with everybody. So it would be nice to, like you said, understand the different cultural appropriations of like hairstyles, for instances, for other races. But like same. I would say for this, I went to an interview earlier this year, and there was a guy there with dreads, and he was explaining to me, how. Of course he's not going to cut off his dreads, but you can have your dreads tied up and have them nice and looking, neat.
Definitely.
If a white woman decided to have her hair dreaded up, if she was going in for an interview, she shouldn't have to change her hairstyle. As long as her dreads were tied up, looked proper and neat, it should still be okay.
And it's all about what she says when she gets into the interview anyway, and how she says it. Because you're employing her as a character, not as a human being wearing dreads.
True, but that's another.
That's also the problem with society.
Image.
Yeah, because they always look. They always look at appearance and shit.
I work in the food industry, and like we had hired a manager for like another store, but she was at my store for training purposes. So she got her training and she went on to the other store, but she ended up getting fired like 2 weeks in because the owner came in and she was just like, "I don't like the way you look." So, and I was like, "Wow!" Like it was because her opinion was she didn't look like, because the woman, she was a woman, but the owner felt like she didn't look like she should, being a woman. You know what I'm saying? So like, so she just let her go.
She need to take that shit.
Yeah, that's a trial, but like at the same time, No. She was just a woman. She didn't have dreads. She was a woman. She had like a couple tattoos. She did look she didn't look manly, but she didn't look like a woman at the same time.
Like a dyke.
Yeah, that's a harsh way to put it.
So,
but sure.
I start.
Yeah, that's better. But yeah, so that was just like, it kind of pissed me off just hearing about that.
Like she wouldn't be last pick on a football team, basically what you're saying.
Wow. All right. Sure, bro.
Oh, wow.
That's worse than saying a dyke.
Yeah. That's describing it at that point. Mine was just a very casual.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that to be.
There's a lot of different racial issues, and it all really ties into just everyday living and then jobs. That's where the heath of like racism still exists.
And the Milky Way.
That's really where majority of it exists. And to be honest, the way I feel about it, it's because we still have these older people, like God bless him, but David Rockefeller, rich white person, had 6 heart transplants and finally died. Did he do anything to bring wealth towards his family? Not really. Being as though his ancestor, John D. Rockefeller, when he pretty much was able to refine oil, that set his whole family for life. But back then, it was built into their mind that, black people were property. So that's what he instilled in his family, and to instill in that business for on and on and on till now. So it's like, sure, he'll have some black people hired, but it's like his circle of people that's important, that takes over the company, like the image that he would like to be portrayed is strong white male.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, like we said earlier, just gotta make sure you're not affecting anybody else's life or like bringing, physical harm or emotion. I don't know, just like,
but you can't. If
violate
that's
anybody.
You also can't like refuse to sell certain products or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't affect anyone's way of living. You know what I'm saying? And their choices. But while we're still on the topic,
like, oh, I was saying like as an example, like kind of another question, not necessarily, but like, remember when Kanye did his stupid fashion show thing, whatever, and the call, like the casting call was like for multiracial women, and how like everybody got pissed off at that. I couldn't wrap my head around why people got so mad at that. Like all these women were like, "Oh, wait, so like black's not good enough? It's gotta be multiracial and shit."
Well, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why people get mad at that kind of thing.
I know, but like my thing is like, if someone has a vision, they have a vision. You can't get mad at that. Like if somebody wanted a black model for a certain thing, you can't get mad. Like, why does he want a white model? You know, like.
I support you with that, Eli, because that's a big issue in the black community. They think that with all these black celebrities and everything, that they should be giving back, or they're entitled. Yeah. They're entitled to be given back. They're entitled to be only representing for the black community. And some celebrities I dislike for the things that they do, but other celebrities I can say that they've broken out of that mindset to where, you know, they've gotten to that point to where they're thinking of themselves as an individual, which I think everyone should be at that point. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with doing things for the community, but, you know, Kanye West shouldn't have felt entitled to only have black models in that fashion show. I support him saying, you know, having multicultural people. Why? Because then there's no need for there to be any form of racism in it. Like, it should not be strictly for a certain type of women. It should not be representing a certain type of woman. Why? Because it was his fashion show, just a normal fashion show.
Exactly. I
fashion shows have every type of girl in it.
All right.
And black people just struggle with trying to support that, you know?
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I didn't really understand the whole thing about the Pepsi commercial. Why everybody was tripping over that?
What?
It was just like, I mean, maybe I didn't go deep enough into it, but
Pepsi commercial.
That pissed me off, and I ain't even really. I'm white.
Okay, so it was like the whole deal was like they didn't use people from the United States.
No, the whole deal was they took a movement that means a lot to people, especially, you know, a minority group, you know, Black Lives Matter. They took that big deal and they put a white model who doesn't have any correlation and was like, "Hey, you're gonna save everybody with the can of Pepsi." And she's like she walked up to the cop and was like, "Hey, take a Pepsi." And he's like, "Oh, okay, we're all good now because we took a drink." Like, you can't take something as serious as the Black Lives Matter movement and then throw in not only just like a soda can saves it, but like some white lady who ain't got nothing to do with it. Like what? Like what the fuck? Like
I got you.
I mean,
like the Black Lives Matter thing rubs me the wrong way. Period. Actually,
well, yeah, I honestly don't really agree with most of it, to be general, but the commercial just didn't make any sense personally.
The only issue with the Black Lives Matter thing is it's just not concrete. It's just a bunch of.
Well, the thing is, like, it started off as like, I mean, if you think about it, the main reason it came together was because of all these black people getting shot by white cops.
Yeah.
Which, again, is really bad and racist, but honestly, I feel like people should be looking. They took one little specific thing out of this major issue, which is the fact that cops shouldn't be getting away with shooting people to begin with.
Yeah,
I don't care if it's a white cop, black cop. I don't care if it's a white person, black person. A cop shooting somebody for the hell of it.
Okay.
Like they need better training. Like like that's what I think. The Black Lives Matter movement actually took a went backwards. You know, because they caused this outrage. Now you got what?
What if they feared for their life?
But cops should be trained well enough.
What I'm saying is, you about to make me go in on this topic, man. I'm just saying in general, like truly though, like think about it though. If they would have took all this stuff happening and made it targeted towards cops in general, instead of like Black Lives, they made it more like, hey, like you shouldn't be doing this. You have a taser for a reason in case you need to use something. Your first instinct shouldn't be to shoot a person. If they made it more of a human being thing and not a Black Lives thing, that you wouldn't have, like, we got, what, blue lives now? Fucking all lives and shit? Like, what? Like, now it just became a whole argument.
Those movements came because, like you said, they made it strictly about black people, and when they did that, it caused two things. It caused the all lives, which is, white person or Latino just got shot the other day, but it's not big on the news or anything like that, which is true. So that's what caused that movement. And, just like McCall said, what if the cop fears for his life? Which, they should be trained, but at the same time, that is still a true statement as well, which caused that. I do agree with you, Eli, because I don't support none of these movements, because when it comes to any type of racial situation, especially for the black community, or really anybody. I can't even say black community only, because he worked for anybody. I always go back to Dr. King. What would Dr. King be doing if he was in this situation? Because when he was around, he wasn't fighting for black people equality. He fought for everyone's equality. And that's what it should have been about from the beginning. When people were getting shot, it should have been about everybody. Just like you said, it should have been about cops attacking people randomly. Not black, not white, not Mexican. The color of the skin should have never been mentioned. It should have just been the simple fact and idea that this man shot this young man and it was wrong, and that needs to be handled in the police department of the United States of America.
And the judicial system, too.
Point blank, period.
The media. Say it again, y'all.
The media, true, yeah. Well, the media in general is just fucking broken.
Yeah, that's pretty true, actually.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's part of the. Well, that's a whole nother story for a whole other day, but.
Well, but it is true though. The media supports one side and gets in everybody's head.
Yeah, because they want coverage. They want stories. They want things people. That's why
the media is just so wrong for this country. Like.
America became popular from yellow journalism ever since the the Spanish American War, which was pretty much started by us. Which was we won. We pretty much just wanted to have a reason to go and steal somebody's country. But in that whole war. All of it was just yellow journalism. All of it was yellow journalism produced and giving back. Basically, like con artist journalism, like lies. It's all lies. It's lies that you produce to the media just to get the hype up. Like the Spanish-American War was started because they thought Cuba blew up the USS Maine, when in reality it was thought to be an engine problem. But at the time they decided to blame it on Cuba so they could go to war with Cuba. And they could have the Philippines and Guam as their property. And during the time, yellow journalists that were covering the war told everybody that it was Cuba that blew it up, and it was making Cuba and the Spanish seem like they were terrible people. And
I was just going to say, I got a definition for you guys.
Okay.
All right. Should be interesting.
Okay, so yellow journalism. Journalism that is based upon sensationalism and crude exaggeration. The origin, 1895, from the appearance in an issue of the New York World of a cartoon in which a child in a yellow dress, the yellow kid, quote unquote, was the central figure. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for your
input. Just a little background, There you go.
Yeah.
Just to let you know. The more you know.
And that's what America's media is pretty much always been based off since then, It's always been exaggerating everything. Literally.
Yep.
I mean, we got a whole channel that's nothing but lies.
Man.
Like, Fox News is nothing but lies. Like, all of the other channels, they at least exaggerate, but Fox News is just lies altogether. So, it's like, no matter what you get, the media is going to make everything 12 times worse. And then as soon as the news covers it...
How many times worse? How many times worse? Excuse me. How many times worse?
13 times worse. And, as soon as it comes out, as soon as the news puts it out, making it 13 times worse, then, you got people that's going on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Snapchat, and they're going to make these funny videos of it. They're going to make all these memes of it. and they're gonna take it to a whole nother level, you know?
I'm on a new level.
Yeah.
But why? What's the purpose of?
Just to rile people up.
To distract, to take away from serious topics,
because they get views from it. That's why.
You control people if you have the people in fear, and that's what they did with the war on drugs. You tell them black people are some savages. They need to be contained. They are savages. They're all on drugs. They're gonna rape your women, rape your children, kill everybody. So paint them as bad people. And if you don't hang around a lot of black people, if you're at the time, if you're Southern, you don't hang around a lot of black people. You don't really know how they interact. You trust your government. You trust what comes on TV. This is how these people be portrayed. Yep, I'm gonna stay away from them. I'm gonna teach my kids to stay away from them. I'm not gonna go anywhere near them. If I see any of them anywhere near them, call the police immediately and let them do it.
Oh my god!
Hey, you're right. You're right.
That took such a
fear
dark turn.
Is how you can. No, he's absolutely right because that's exactly what happens.
It is true though. Yeah,
it's exactly what happens. Fear and religion. Yep, those two.
That's when you get into conspiracy theories, and that's a whole other topic.
That's a whole other night after 2 a.m.
That's another night.
It always goes back to your 3 Gs, man.
I promise you.
When it comes to all of this stuff that's going on,
everything
in
Lord.
Glory. Yep, it always goes back to the 3 Gs. Because that's what it's all about.
Like
gold, God, and glory.
Gold.
Money.
Capital.
What? Capital. Currency.
I mean, cracker.
Okay.
So, say, me and McCall and I talked about this yesterday, but say you were given a task in school and you had to discuss differences between consistency and commitment.
Oh, okay, this guy right here.
Consistency and commitment?
Yeah.
If there are any.
Wait, what was the question?
How they relate, basically.
How they relate? Or
like
how they're different?
How they're similar and how they're different.
Okay.
Consistency and commitment. Any takers?
I mean, it depends on. I mean, you can look at that in a million different ways.
Yeah.
You know
Start anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm saying like you could be consistent with something, but that doesn't mean you committed to it. Like if you go to school every day, like for instance, I go to my job every day. I'm not committed to that shit. I'm just doing it for the money. I don't want to be there, but I gotta be consistent.
But technically, you are committed.
Yeah,
no, to the job. Like
I see where you're going
consistent.
with it, Eli.
Yeah, like I'm consistent to going every day, but I'm not committed to like making sure I'm there with a great attitude or some bullshit. Like I'll be in a terrible attitude every day.
Not even in a great attitude. Like I see where the direction you're going, Eli, and I'm with you. Like consistent would be, like he says, to go to a job every day. Actually do your work. Don't slack off, but you're actually there. As to where committed would be in terms of like it's like being consistent, but with quality. Like to be committed, you're gonna I feel like you would take an extra step in what you do.
Think of it like this, right? So for a job, for instance, consistency is you go to the job every day. Commitment would be like you try to progress through the job. Like if there's an opportunity for like a new position or a higher like management, for instance,
commitment is
you would
dedication.
Go to it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Consistent doesn't require necessarily dedication to be consistent at something.
But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How can you be consistent? Do you just wake up consistent, or do you have to make a conscious decision to be committed to being consistent?
You have well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, now you're just trying to make it like a trick fucking question. I don't like how you just worded that right there.
Just going by the sheer definitions, consistent would be just the act or done in the same way over time. As to where being commitment or committed would just be, the act or doing something that you are dedicated to, having dedication or admiration for that. I feel like think about
like for instance,
Oh, go ahead, Eli.
I was saying like you could be committed without being consistent.
Think so?
Definitely.
Well, that changes my view. Well, it doesn't change my view, but it gives me another outlook because I was kind of kind of sure that they will be committed without being.
I feel like I feel like you need to be consistent to be committed. I do feel like that as well. I feel like you don't need to be committed to be consistent. You can be consistent without being committed, but in order to be committed, you have to be consistent.
By sheer definition, sure, but I feel like you gotta, like, if you really want to do something, if you have a goal, then you need to be consistently committed to that goal, and committed to consistent.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know. If you have a goal, let's say you want to get good grades in school for all those sorts of. You know your flaws, procrastination, just lazy, whatever. You want to make a conscious decision to make better grades, so you gotta be committed to making better grades. Now, with that being said, some lifestyle changes didn't have to occur. You didn't have to probably study. You can't just study once a week. If you do study once a week, that's great. That's some consistency. But you want to study maybe every day. That's ideal for you to be committed to this goal of getting good grades. You want to be consistent with studying and going to bed on time, and getting extra help from the teacher whenever you need it. Consistent things.
That's true.
Good behaviors, so you can be committed to this goal.
Wait, looking at that example, right? I think it depends on how big of a commitment you want to make. Depends on if you need consistency or not.
Right.
Like looking at that example, right there. Like also like think of YouTube, right? Like if you're committed to making a great video, or like whatever. Like okay, like I lost my train of thought mid sentence. Like if you want to like do really well, usually you got to be consistent, right? But like if you just want to do like really good on a video every once in a while, like you're committed to making a great video every once in a while, you don't necessarily have to be committed, like consistent with the commit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, what kind of person is that?
Did that touch anybody? I know it was really terrible wording.
You can't just measure consistency by everyday kind of thing. So even if you do it every once in a while, if it's like still that, if you still do it like in some sort of like, it's still a measure of time, it's still a form of consistency. That's why I said I feel like you can do anything consistently, but in order to do something to be committed to something, you have to be consistent, and in order to be committed, you have to be consistent. But you don't have to be committed in order to be consistent. That's how I feel about it.
Well, what's a commitment but a statement of an action that you're about to get ready to do?
That's also true. Like if you committed to like watching a movie or something, like you ain't gotta be consistent with that. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be consistent.
Like, it depends on how big. But that's not really consistency though. Consistency is more of like doing the same action more than once.
Not necessarily. Consistency would be is over time as well. It doesn't have to be just the same action. It's just something over time.
Everybody, I want you to take.
If you're watching a movie, like if you're committed to watching a movie, you have to watch that movie. Like you're gonna watch that movie from start to end. So you're gonna be watching it the whole time, which means you're gonna be consistently watching it.
Okay. Well, see, that just depends on your idea of consistency and how you look at it.
Okay, so
I feel like everybody's right in this sense.
Yeah, I guess that's true. For me, like, you can look at it multiple different ways, but just for me, as my personal opinion, when it comes to those sort of adjectives, I just go back to the definition. But it can be looked at any different way.
So tell me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you like want to be successful, and I mean just like successful by your own means, not anything, society deems to be successful or whatever, or just feel good about yourself or whatever, make money, do whatever. You need, which one is more important in that sense?
Commitment.
I think they're 100%. Both equally important.
No, if you have, like, I'm saying you
That's
have
very
to choose
true
one.
too.
Which one,
If you had to choose, definitely commitment. Because if you ain't committed to it, then you ain't gonna do nothing.
I mean,
you ain't gonna go nowhere with you.
I can't really answer that based on the way how I explained it for my personal opinion. Because, like I said, in order to be committed, you have to be consistent. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean, and consistency does not necessarily mean every single day. But in order to be committed, you have to be consistent. You know. And of course, if you're talking about your own goals, whether it's in society's means or it's in your own personal means, you have to be committed to getting to that goal.
That's very true. I think Denzel Washington said it best, guy.
I agree. I agree.
Well, what Denzel say? What old Denzel
never start. But more important, without consistency, you never finish.
Exactly.
That actually makes it. That's a good quote.
I support that wholeheartedly.
That's that senior year quote right there.
I like that.
All right. That is a really nice quote.
I mean, it's Denzel Washington.
That's a good quote.
Yeah,
I mean, like anything that man said.
It's not every day you can just cry out of one eye. It's a pretty darn amazing feat. If I do say so myself.
And you do say so.
That single tear action.
If he does say so himself.
He does better than all right. He does better than all right. He does all right.
Guys.
The thing of the hell just stop.
Niggas know. Oh.
How do you guys feel about social situations?
Explain. What do you mean exactly by social situations?
This social situations. Anywhere we have to talk to people. How do you guys feel about it personally?
Wait, what?
How do you guys feel about social situations personally?
About social interactions with people.
Yeah, with people.
You mean just like everyday interaction, or like?
What do you mean individual?
Weird?
I'm so confused with this topic.
How do we feel about difference? Like, all right, you should break the question down more. Like, different social situations. Give different social examples.
I'm just talking about talking to people. Like, nothing specific.
Just like
not
what
friends,
about
not family.
What do you mean talking about people? How do you feel about talking to people?
Let's go with that.
How do we feel about
hold on.
People,
I freaking
hate it.
I think like the actual steps that happen in life for you to actually like interact with somebody and meet somebody is interesting to think about sometimes. Like I don't know, like Bobby, like me and McCall, like we met in high school. I was a freshman. We were in the locker room, and it was just like
I remember.
Whoa.
Yeah, I remember. Like, we met in the locker room. Like, we didn't even have the same class. Like our class ended up getting out at the same time. We were like in the locker room.
So y'all just randomly met up at the locker room.
I recognized
just y'all two.
Because I was friends with
by yourselves.
I was friends with. I can't remember who I was friends first with, but I recognized him because we all used to chill in the band room in the morning. So like I can't remember who sparked up a conversation, but it was kind of like a mutual, kind of like thing where we just started talking to each other because we recognized each other, and it was kind of Barry was there. It was kind of like cool how that happened because we had our stuff right next to each other, or pretty close at least. But it just wasn't planned. It was just so like something random that just happened that I thought was kind of cool. I just think like things that happen in order for you to meet people are interesting. Yeah, there we go.
Like me and Maddie, bro. Me and Maddie have a really good friendship. But we met on a band trip. Like she was in the band that whole year. I didn't meet her. Well, she actually wasn't in the band. She was just taking a percussion class. But then we took a band trip to LGPE or whatever, Dublin or whatever. And I met her on a bus. I was like, "Who are you?" Like, I'm Maddie, but I was already friends with some other people who were friends with her. And she was short, so I made fun of her being short. Because at the time,
okay.
Well, I say at the time, but I mean, I was always an asshole.
Yeah, I can see that.
I always make fun of people. I always still make fun of people. Always will make fun of people. Long story short, I'll make fun of people. And fucking 8 years later, we're still great friends. It's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Like, she's one of my closest friends.
I think that question really boils down to the person. Like if you extrovert, you really gonna like meet new people, gonna be easy. But if you introvert, you really gonna hate that.
What would you guys say you guys are individually?
Definitely introvert. I hate talking to people.
I would love to be an extrovert, but I'm just not.
Yeah, if you talk to me and I don't know you, like you will not see the real me. Like
okay,
once you know me, the real me.
Introvert.
What?
Introvert is the one that doesn't socialize, right?
Yes.
Right.
Gotcha. So I'm like an introverted extrovert.
We're called ambiverts, Cameron. We're called ambiverts.
I just want to give Kendrick that shout out.
Really, nigga?
Because I agree with Eli. Like, if I don't know you, of course I'm not gonna like show you my true colors because I'm pretty fucking weird. So I wouldn't run everybody that I encounter off.
Yeah.
I would keep most of that weird shit in. But I mean, other than that,
also depends on like for instance, like person to person versus like texting. You know, like even if I don't know you too well, I'll most likely talk to you more via text than in person. Like I'm just like socially awkward.
Sure.
That's a very common factor for introverts.
If I'm hitting on a girl, like I will definitely say stuff in text that I will not say in person.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't have the ball.
Hell, I probably wouldn't talk to the girl in person.
That's
just a casual nod and then walk away.
That happened with me and DeAndre at first.
Hey,
really awkward. It wasn't happening.
This man hit that I like you text.
You like me? Yes, no, maybe.
And then didn't respond for like a couple days, and you had to spark you up the conversation.
She gave me the note back and said, "Or." We circled "or." Talk about playing games, bro.
Talk about loophole, boy.
Seriously.
Talk about you ugly. Your daddy.
Shut up.
That's great.
But yeah, that's actually kind of interesting, like a lot. Just like thinking about fate and how you just happen to meet certain people.
We getting deep now. Okay, we talking about fate.
That type stuff, you know.
Yeah. Right now, all right, guys. Well, I got another question. I got an actual question because the other one was kind of a discussion, like it's supposed to be. How do you guys feel about your life right now, individually?
It fucking sucks. That's actually why I'm starting YouTube. I'm trying to do something in my life. I feel like I have no worth. You know, I feel like I don't like. Honestly, though, like, yeah, I just feel like there's nothing going on over here. Just I go to work, get home, do nothing, go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what's that Suicide Anonymous website?
Dang, it ain't that bad. I ain't depressed or nothing. I got Jesus on my side. Ain't nobody depressed over here. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, you know, it's just kind of like nothing. You know, like when you ain't got nothing going on, like, I feel like everybody needs something. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody needs something to go to, and that's why I want to start this, because I wanted to like do something. I mean, hell, we all four in this now. Like, you know, like, I think we could do something like pretty cool, and it's not like about getting the most views or some bullshit. Like, it's just about having fun and doing something. Like, I feel like that's why I'm going back to school. That's actually the main reason I'm going to school, because I need something like structural. Like, I need something like, you know, besides a job, like something like, okay, go here every week or whatever, you know, study and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Would you like me to give you my answer that question abstractly, or would you like the truth from me?
Both. Why not?
Right. Yeah, go for it.
Abstractly, I would just say, I always feel like life right now. Well, currently, I always feel this way, but currently, you know, I feel this way. Just, it's a work in progress. I don't ever, like, I have my down times, and I do have my up times, but ultimately, at the end of the day, when I lay my head down, it's always a work in progress to me, because I always feel like there's more you could do, but at the same time, I feel like I have made achievements to get to this point. So you know, I don't down.
It's kind of like how
myself, you know.
Yeah, it's like everybody's growing. Like you're constantly growing, no matter where you're at in life. You're always gonna be growing.
So I feel, you know, I just feel.
I feel that
in growth. In growth.
Or what if
you guys know what I'm starting to do then?
What?
You guys want to know what I'm starting to do?
DJ?
Like, no, not besides that. Like, I'm starting to make music and stuff besides that. Yeah, what we're starting to do, me and McCall. I've decided to, like, because, you know, some people try to do a lot and so much in one day, and sometimes it just gets hard. So, like, I told myself that, like, I'm going to do one thing. Like, I'm going to wake up and know that I'm going to do one thing to make myself better today and make sure I get it accomplished. And just start off with, like, small stuff like this. If you do one thing every day, eventually, you know, the small stuff is going to be gone, and you're going to have to move on to bigger stuff, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to do a bigger thing every day. And, you know, every day you're getting a step closer to where you want to be, or just being anything, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was just me. Something that helped me out.
Basically, how are you betting yourself today?
Today, I made sure to set myself up for my final exam. I had to get a proctor. So I made sure to get all that handled. And, you know, I emailed my beat to 5 people and let everybody hear my first beat and get feedback and stuff like that.
I'm still in
here. Well, yeah,
this man.
I'll see you in like 2 minutes. But yeah, my main thing today was to get my beat out there and to get some feedback on it. And, you know, just get people's reactions and stuff.
You tell me I was one of 5 people chosen?
Yes, Eli.
You were number 5, though. Don't worry. You were number 5.
Hey, I'll take that, because I'm probably the only white person on that list, so I'll take it.
No, Bobby's on there.
No, I'm not.
Some dry humor, I'm sorry.
I meant physically.
I laughed. I was actually on the list. I was salty.
Yeah.
I ain't getting no email.
I mean, I don't know. For some reason, it's just like, I don't know.
Like, you were number 6, but he only wants to send 5.
You're automatic. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but you were automatically going to hear the beat. It wasn't, like, urgent for you to hear the beat, because...
I'm not salty, bro. I'm just messing with you, Cameron.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know how to explain it, because it's like...
You don't have to, because I understand. You don't have to.
Yeah, we're not bitches over here.
Yeah, and you should know that I understand.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for you.
I'm just screwing.
I know.
So, would you like the other part? Would you like me to answer you truthfully, McCall?
Real quick there?
Not the question.
Definitely. Let's
yes
hear
to
it.
both questions.
Truthfully.
Okay, so truthfully, in whole, how I feel about life right now is how I've again always felt about life, which is existence is bane. And all of this is tiny and a waste of time. We are only a fragment in this multiverse. A very insignificant one that isn't going to last long.
Multiverse, whoa, we get into some, like...
Getting Flash.
Flash shit. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fuck, they got it.
Please, I need to hear this. Please, go into detail. This is interesting now.
Well,
yeah. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, let's go, Bobby. We already locked in.
Well, there goes my morning.
I want to hear this.
I'm sorry.
No need to apologize.
Well, for starters, I just want to ask, do y'all think there's life out
there? Of course.
Bruh, that was gonna be my first topic. Yo. Like, I was literally just gonna hit y'all with... aliens. Bam, and just see what that would take us. But Bobby got that. Is there other life? Honestly, I don't think so. No.
But how do you know?
But that's religious. That's religious reasons.
Oh, okay. So, what religion are you? Just to clarify for everybody.
I'm Christianity. I'm Christian.
What form of Christianity?
I'm just Christian. Personally, I don't like it when people do
go with all those
specific
denominations
and stuff like that.
Yeah, because honestly, I personally, I'm not trying to offend nobody. I personally don't see the point of all that. That's just me.
No, I agree. There's no point.
So you're just like you're just a
typical
Christian, right?
I was waiting for it, man. Yeah, I'm just typical. I'm typical. I don't like the. I just personally don't see the point of putting that stuff in a box like that. Like, you know, like.
There actually is a box for just being a typical Christian. Did you know that?
I mean,
there actually is a denomination for that. Unfortunately,
what's that called?
That's just Baptist, bro.
Yeah,
little did we know.
That's where I grew up at.
Really?
Little did I know before.
Like I said, I don't call it nothing else but Christianity because to me it comes from the same book, so there shouldn't be any kind of differences. But somehow they still are. But that's a whole other topic. I ain't trying to get into all that.
I think that goes back. I think that goes back to racism, guys. How people need to segregate and have the. Now I won't say the better, but
with the split of the church, the dominations didn't come from racism. It came from
Catholics.
Catholics basically. Yeah, it's basically because you
Protestant
in Roman Catholicism. In Roman Catholicism, they made it to where you could basically buy your way into heaven, and that wasn't believed to be holy. So, of course, y'all all know Martin Luther was like, fuck the church, fuck this shit, I'm start following religions, And he started Lutheranism. And from Lutheranism came Calvinism. From Calvinism became Methodists and Baptists and Quakers and, many different forms of Protestant religion.
None
We're
of
not
that
talking
stuff
about the
makes any
oatmeal,
sense. I don't want to get into this. Let's continue with
But nevertheless,
what do
you mean?
We've had photography and videos of other planets in our solar system, but we don't have any of other planets in our galaxy. My question is, how are we able to detect two galaxies near us and identify them, but we were unable to explore the rest of our own galaxy?
It was
I believe we were able to explore. I believe it's already been explored, to be honest.
Conspiracy theory.
I do as well.
But knowledge is power.
What is the purpose? It is. What is the purpose of us being here, Eli? Like for you, like you said earlier, you feel like you have to have something to do. But what is your contribution to the soul, like planet Earth itself? What do you do?
I don't have one.
Not society now. Not society. Not like getting a job like in America. What is it that Elijah Water does for planet Earth?
Nothing.
You repopulate.
I wouldn't. I would say nothing. Yeah.
What about you, Cameron McCall? What is it that you do for the planet? Not for society now, but for the planet
Spread
itself.
That seed. Yeah, right?
Speaking of spread that seed, bro, I was watching this video today, boy. God.
Bro, chill, bro.
Oh, my God.
Y'all, we just... How... McCall, come on.
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure he did come on.
Shut up.
Come on.
So stupid.
Directly to the forehead. Come on.
I hate Alright, back to the seriousness of this.
Well, what
y'all got an answer?
Cameron McCall? Answer?
Cameron, take it away, bro.
The actual planet itself. Well, I can only think of a religious reason. The reason why we were put here. I guess.
That's why I said nothing for the planet.
Why were we put here then?
For Jesus. No,
from a Christian standpoint. Put here
from a Christian
standpoint.
Save lives. And honor God.
No, from a Christian standpoint, it was a test. Wasn't it?
A test?
I mean, originally, I guess.
Well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't a test at first.
I mean, it also depends on how you, like, from a Christian standpoint, it depends on how you interpret the Bible.
Well, for the Bible standpoint, I guess. From what the Bible
But again, it depends. You know how many different interpretation of the same book there is?
You're so right. And that's why it's just so ridiculous.
That's why, like, this question really kind of personal for each person is going to be completely different, probably.
That's what I expect. I'm looking for a different answer for each person. There's no right or wrong answer, but I'm looking for a different
Like, for instance, like, for the planet Earth itself, I feel like ain't nobody got value because the planet Earth don't really mean nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Precisely.
Like, from a Christian point of view, it's about, you know, trying to worship God every day and just it's supposed to be like, you know, God's image, like try to do your best to replicate pretty much Jesus, really. Like that's what, like, from what I was taught, you should strive to be like Jesus every single day, 100%, because Jesus was perfect, and you trying to, like, in God's eye, you trying to be as close to His image as possible.
Yeah, now let's work with that. But what you got right there, let's work with Eli's. Now, you said from a Christian standpoint earlier that there was no life out there, right? And you said it from a Christian standpoint.
I don't think it. Yeah.
Also, that your purpose here is, you know, you're supposed to love, honor that God in Jesus, you know, same person depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're supposed to spread Christianity. So, let's say Christianity has been spread to every human on the planet. What is your purpose after that? Just to love God?
Your purpose is to continue on until God's plan finishes. That's when it gets really deep into Christianity. Is the fact that
once you get there, then as a world, internationally and individually, you continue to worship and honor God and help other people.
Yeah, this is the problem with that. Ain't no way in crap that would ever happen.
Well, it's supposed to.
No, we're talking theoretically.
It's not supposed to happen until after it all goes to shit.
We're talking theoretically here.
It's true though.
We're talking theoretically.
Theoretically, if everybody came together, 100% Christianity, it'd all be a part of God's plan. That's the whole, like, as a Christian, the whole thing is we don't necessarily know what God's plan is. That's kind of the mysteriousness about it. That's actually why a lot of people are against it.
Do you believe that you're supposed to go to heaven at some point?
Definitely. That's really the goal.
Let me ask you this. Earth isn't heaven, right? Earth isn't heaven, correct?
It is not heaven, no.
So when you're removed from Earth and you go to heaven, then what is it that was left on Earth? Let's say God, like we said, theoretically speaking, everyone became Christian, honored God, loved Him. Everybody was about to be, were able to make it into heaven. So everybody's off of Earth now. What was left? What was left there from you guys? What was left? That was something good towards the planet. What did you guys leave to actually help the planet?
That's I'm trying to think of the word. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to think of the word that is supposed to sound sophisticated.
Why is that not working?
But pretty much, like, it doesn't matter. That's not the point.
Is Earth God's creation?
It's His creation, but like you asking, like, what do we leave over? It doesn't necessarily matter because, actually, let me take that back.
You gotta let me connect the dots here.
Right, let me take that back. This is where you can get very, very, like, spiritual and crap. Like there's different interpretations that I've heard. One of the main ones I heard was, after, like, you'll end up coming back to Earth, and it'll be like a peaceful, like, time. Like, it's very confusing. Like, but I've heard one of the main kind of interpretations I heard is you go to heaven, then Satan will reign, I think, on the earth for like 1,000 years, and after that, after Satan's done with the earth, God will, like, make him go away.
I've heard that interpretation as well.
And then everybody, pretty much from heaven, you'll go back and kind of rule like Jesus would rule the earth, and you know what I'm saying? Like, so it kind of makes it like, so you'll be like,
I've heard that interpretation.
Yeah, you'll be in like your spiritual bodies on earth, and everything will be fine and peaceful, and then you'll live for all eternity. And that's the problem that a lot of people have with Christianity and religion in general, is because how people think nowadays is like, when you're like, as human beings, it's so hard to fathom the idea of living for eternity. Like, that's why I feel like a lot of people don't really believe it, because they're like, okay, you die, like, you really think you gonna keep continuing, like, really do, like, you know what I'm saying, like.
But yeah, everybody want to be a fucking vampire.
Oh my!
For me, Eli, this is where I come.
I'm just saying.
Bringing vampires.
This is where I come in with the count. My clash with it. For me, it's not the idea of fathom and being against eternity, because believe me, I want to live forever because I'm a very dark person. But nevertheless, for me, it is this, and it all comes down to this. And I already know exactly what you would say back to me, but it comes down to the fact that how do you know all in the end is going to go exactly according to God's plan? How do you know that God exists and that He, I believe in God. And I have my own ways, but how are you? My thing is, how do you know that your God exists and that when you die, it's going to go the way that you have been taught or the way that you have learned? How do you know that?
I got you.
It's all about faith.
One line.
It's all about your faith.
Because you gotta have faith. You gotta have faith.
Honestly, at this point, I think we should George Michael's phone lines and let our audience chip in.
Wait, what?
Oh, I have a question. I want to ask the question.
Wait, what did Cameron say? I missed that.
Go ahead.
I was talking with George
Michael.
We
should open up our phone lines and see what our audience has to say about that.
Our phone line?
Okay, I got. Hold on, you guys. Suleiman the Third is trying to ask a question. He's calling from Saudi Arabia. Go ahead, Suleiman.
Man, y'all so racist.
My name is Suleiman. Okay, I would like to know. I'm not Christian at all. I don't listen to Jesus. No, I listen to my dude. My dude.
You don't even know the name. Oh my gosh! You can't even be like you're so racist but disrespectful. Like, you gotta be at least somewhat respectable if you're being racist. You just made it.
Allah, nigga.
I was trying. Listen.
Allah.
It was so bad, y'all. It was so bad. I almost said Mecca.
Oh my gosh!
McCall, come out and keep this real quick, man.
Man, McCall gonna give us all those dislikes.
At the end of the day, Eli, I feel like even if we do have faith, when it comes to this planet, all we leave is destructive things. And I mean, it's our way of surviving, but at the same time, it's still destructive.
Well, that's human nature.
Against.
You know what I'm saying? Like we just evil people. This is human nature. That's that devil.
Well,
that's Satan's work, man. Everybody's evil.
Yeah, I look. You think if you live every day,
let me ask you this: to
just cut off camera.
I'm sorry, Cameron. I'm sorry,
No.
Cameron.
It's quite all right. Thank you, McCall.
To go out. So my question is, Eli, do you think it's okay to go out and have a cow killed so food is made for you? Or
if it's survival,
I say yes.
And I said it was survival. I did say it was survival.
Yeah,
but
then definitely.
Survival is still destructive, is it not?
Yeah, it's true, but it also depends on.
But I mean,
it depends on location's carrying capacity.
On the same token, though, God made all that.
God, no, you didn't.
That is true. Like everything has a purpose.
Stop it.
Come out again, though.
Like, if you think about it, everything does have a purpose, you know?
Yeah.
How do you know those things' purpose was to be used for that, though? How do you know that? Let me ask you this.
That's what my book said.
How do you know that trees? How do you know that trees don't have a God, and God said they were going to be put on this earth to have a peaceful manner.
That ain't my religion.
That ain't your religion. But every single being, organism, does not necessarily support it.
Oh yeah, well, see, that's the whole thing. Like, that's when you get into, like,
it's a totally it's a whole bunch of different, like, personal opinions.
Oh
but
yeah,
at the end of the day, overall, what is the true answer?
The true answer is I personally think the true answer doesn't matter as long as you truly believe in your thing. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say that because.
But I mean, it's if I said Christianity was the true answer, then every other person will be like, no, it's not. You know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, the true answer is whatever you truly believe it is. Like.
And that's where I have my discrepancy. I believe that there's such things as fact and opinion. And now, everybody has their opinions. But see,
nobody knows the fact. That's the whole thing. So you can't really judge anything.
Exactly. So you can't really say that there is you can't really go on saying that these things are a purpose of us being here if nothing has been proven to be the fact.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in my mind, it is, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on how you look at it.
But it's not about your mind, though. It's about the overall. And that's why I said overall, there is existence is vain, and this is meaningless, because we still haven't figured out overall what the fact is. It's just everyone's personal opinion.
I think if you actually
but also, that depends, because if Christianity is the true way, then that doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's if it's the true way, though.
Exactly, but you don't know if it is or isn't. So Bane,
therefore,
the Bane of it, we could be the Bane, we could not be.
Yeah, but that's why I say, because I say it's still no, because it hasn't been proven yet.
I'm not again, McCall.
Go ahead,
but,
Cameron.
I can see that. I can see that.
A lot of things in the Bible, which I'm pretty sure the Bible's been proven to be the oldest book, right? Or am I wrong?
You're wrong.
Okay,
Hinduism was actually the oldest text, the Vedas.
Well, a lot of stuff that the Bible has in it has, like, been proven, you know what I'm saying? Like, fact, like, scientifically proven. Like, the whole Noah's Ark thing, the whole, Walls of Jericho thing, the whole,
Did you know that a lot of scientifically stuff has been proven inside the Quran and the Vedas?
Yeah.
Okay,
and evolution scientifically proven.
That's all I want to say. I'm glad I wasted my time.
Like that's why whenever you talk about certain things like this, it goes both ways. Really.
Like that's true. Like I agree with you, Eli. Like we don't know whether it is or isn't. But the simple fact that because we don't know it isn't, like at the end of the day, only thing you could fall on is the most solid fact, which is nothing, which is everything is meaningless until we have our fact, you know? And everybody will find that fact.
But that's just such a sad way of looking at it, though.
It is sad, but it's
such a sad way of looking at it.
Coming to terms with things, you know?
It is, but that's like not having any faith, though. That's like for all those people who have no faith, that's kind of what they rely on.
Spoiler.
The fact that there is nothing out there, and I feel like that's just such a sad way to live. That's like having no purpose in life.
I won't say that, because to be just to have no faith doesn't mean you still don't feel like you have a purpose. It's just your purpose becomes from out of faith to more of a. It really does become to more of an individual kind of thing, as a flesh kind of thing at that point. As to where
like a materialistic purpose.
As to where I've taken it to a level, you know. It doesn't. You just to not have faith doesn't mean you will have this type of opinion. Like this type of opinion, like I said, I believe in God. I have my rights and wrongs with it, but I personally don't follow organized religion or any specific text, because I believe that there's a little bit of truth in all of it. But at the same time, I also look, like I said, at fact and opinion. And right now, everything is everyone's opinion, and the only people who have the answer to this true question is the people that have already passed, and they see. some people, let's say we were Hindu. If we were Hindu, the people that are past, they have the answer because they're on this earth as either a different person or a different organism. Why? Because they believe in reincarnation.
Unless they actually...
Yep,
unless there is no purpose and they just disappear.
Exactly.
From existence, there's no purpose at all.
It could be either or.
This is such a sad... Let's change the topic. This is such a sad... I'm getting like...
I'm sorry. I asked you, were you sure if you wanted to talk about this?
No, it was a very interesting topic. It's just...
I used to think about that all the time.
This is so sad.
When I was younger.
Truthfully saying.
Cry myself to sleep when I was younger. One of my confessions.
Man, that's depressing.
I came to a lot of different understandings between the years of 7 and 8.
This bitch can't go on a date.
7 and 8, those specific years.
Yeah, those years, like between those years, I took a lot of oaths to myself about a lot of different things.
Oh, is that right?
Back then, all I had was God and my toys. And I stood before both of them, and I took many a different oaths. Many a different oaths.
I was drinking some coffee. This man said my toys.
That's all I had.
I hereby decree.
I didn't have friends. I had
Bobby Lee Flowers the third
I had 2 imaginary friends. My imaginary friends was Benny and I imagined my other imaginary friend was Pikachu, but in real life. And then a whole ass of toys.
So to recap, your life is meaningless. Religion is also meaningless.
I think this was
nowhere in life.
There's no purpose at all.
Social situations.
Don't be consistent.
You're probably
be committed.
If you're an extrovert, nobody likes you.
Yeah.
Damn.
What else?
No, if you're an introvert, nobody likes you. Extrovert, they like you.
Or you can be an ambivert.
I was. Yeah, me and Cameron are ambiverts. We weren't really.
Ambiverts are just annoying assholes.
I mean, that is true to an extent. I'm not even going to disagree with you on that. That's true to an extent.
Annoying assholes. That's what I was saying.
That's true to an extent, Cameron. Don't fight off the truth.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight reality.
That's true to an extent. For me, once upon a time, I actually was an introvert, but I decided to
I'm
not
not just going to say once upon a time.
I was. I literally told myself that I wasn't going to let my shyness prevent me from enjoying life. And here I am, nowadays.
Nah, I was too socially awkward for that.
Yeah.
And see, one thing I can say about extroverts and introverts, for the people that are extroverts, of course they're going to be more social. They're going to know a lot more people. But the people that are introverts, they build stronger relationships and they're more kept to themselves. Those are the people that are less likely to get their feelings hurt. They have the strongest bonds, and they have the best circles because they they build strong bonds with the people that strongly attract to them, and they keep it at that.
That is a great
As to where
sentence.
Extroverts, they kind of spread to everything, and it's harder to find those strong people when you're just kind of like spread out to everyone. And it's really, and even when it comes down to love, for an introvert, when it comes to love, they're gonna find someone. They're more likely to find someone that's like their soulmate that they end up, being serious with. Because
very true.
They're gonna actually have a true connection with them. They're gonna with that person, they're gonna feel like they're extrovert when it comes to only that person. An introvert,
or they don't,
I feel that.
and then
you
break
can
up
tell.
with them.
You can tell an
They get
introvert
pissed off.
really likes a person when they make the first move. Because introverts usually don't make the first move in any social
very
situation. They usually make the first move.
However, they can still make the first move, realize it was a mistake, and have to backtrack.
And that's true. Introverts, they would be the ones to catch on to stuff first anyway and back off rather than let themselves get hurt in the end.
That's
you. Where extroverts would.
And then when you try to stop it, they get pissed off at you because they didn't see it, but you did, and they just ignorant it. I hate when that happens.
You just kind of block it off. As to where extroverts, they just kind of they just go through life. You know what I mean? I really did just learn all this stuff recently because I have an extremely introvert girlfriend. So I had to go learn my shit. I had to. Well, I think this has been an excellent conversation.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Really? That's a perfect example of an outro.
You guys should stop using so many exclamations at the end of your sentences.
Yeah, I hate all of
that
you.
That is an excellent
That's a
session.
wrap. That's a wrap.
You know what the eggs say when they got turned up?
What?
Omelette!
Well, Cameron, if you don't excuse me, stepping aside.
But he has such a hard time getting that up.
What did Cameron say? I missed that. About the eggs?
You just missed it. It's alright. You missed all the excitement.
No, I heard the eggs, but...
I mean, Eli, it was honestly extraordinary.
Eli, you can go ahead and take her behind to the exit.
I mean, I usually don't like to repeat myself, but for you, Eli, I'll make an exception. What did the egg say when it was turned up?
What?
Omelette.
Oh, wow.
Now, did you hear his excerpt?
That is so stupid.
Why?
I think Cameron wanted to be excluded from it.
Can I have an exemption? I'm kidding.
I find that's an exemplary usage of verbs.
For real, though, like, honestly.
That's a good example.
I'm exalted.
I'm exhausted.
I'm disgusted.
And we have a winner.
That's all, yokes.
Oh my god.